Hello, I welcome you all to this session. For the past previous sessions, we were just going by the Unit 1 philosophy and human values. And the second unit is short biographies, in which we have got two great personalities. One is R.K. Narayan, another one is Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. About R.K. Narayan, we have already discussed, and in unit 1 if you see means the uh, chapters are not yet finished, but I want to finish this one before I do unit 1. That is, I complete unit 1. I want to complete unit 2 because just one personality is there remaining. It is Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, and if we do means unit 2 it gets completed, and then we will just go by unit 1 philosophy and human values, in which we have got two more chapters which deals with classification of values and sources of values. Okay, so in this session we are going to see about a great personality and a renowned one from India, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. And what this man has achieved, and what makes us to read his history or his achievement, whatever it is, his biography, we will see today. Okay. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan was the first vice president of India. Yeah, vice president. Okay, he is the first vice president of India and the second president of India. He is a philosopher and is the one who is responsible for the uh, introduction of the Western idealism philosophy into the Indian thought. And one more point to you, gentlemen, that he is the famous teacher on whose birthday is celebrated as Teachers' Day in India. Yeah, his birthday is celebrated as a Teachers' Day in India. Okay, if you see his birth means he was born on September 5, 1888 at Tirutani, Madras, in a poor Brahmin family. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan had his early education at Gaudi School, Thiruvallur, and then he went to Lutheran Mission School in Tirupati for his high school. Then he joined Uris College in Vellore, Tamil Nadu, and later switched to the Madras Christian College. After completing his education, he accepted the post of assistant lectureship at Madras Presidency College in 1909. He also acquainted himself with Buddhist and Jain philosophy and philosophies of Western thinkers such as Plato, Kant, Bradley, and Bergson. Okay. In 1921, he was appointed as a professor in philosophy to occupy the King George Chair of Mental and Moral Science at the University of Calcutta. So, in the year 1921, he was appointed as a professor in philosophy at the University of Calcutta. And if you see means another important academic event during this period was the invitation to deliver the Hibbert lecture on the ideals of life, which he delivered at Harris Manchester College, Oxford in 1929, which was subsequently published in book form as titled An Idealist View of Life. In this title, his speech was published. So, for his services to education, he was knighted by King George V. Knighthood was bestowed to him for his service in education. So, before independence, he was called as Sir S. Radhakrishnan, and after independence, he was called as Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, because the Sir is the title bestowed to him as the knight by George V, okay, for his service in the education. Okay, things apart. However, he did not use the title in personal life. So the title which was bestowed to him, he didn't use it for his personal life. In 1931, Sarvapillai Radhakrishnan was elected Vice Chancellor for the Andhra University. He was the Vice Chancellor of Andhra University from 1931 to 1936. For nearly 5 years, he acted as Vice Chancellor of Andhra University. In the year 1946, he was appointed as ambassador to UNESCO. And when India became independent, that is in the year 1947, Radhakrishnan represented India at UNESCO from the year 1946 to 57 and was later ambassador of India to Soviet Union. Then in the year 1949, he was appointed as ambassador to the Soviet Union. He is proclaimed as one of the pivot personalities in laying the foundation for a strong relationship with the Soviet Union. Then Radhakrishnan was elected first Vice President of India in the year 1952. After serving 2 terms as Vice President, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan was elected President of India in 1962. That is, after resuming his office as Vice President in 1952, after a decade, in 1962 he resumes as President of India. Okay, first he serves as Vice President, then as President. During his tenure, India fought wars with China and Pakistan. So when he was the president, India had a war with two of his neighbors, Pakistan and China, namely. Okay. Teachers' Day is very important, and as the teacher act as the foundation for creating responsible citizens and good human beings. So it is considered that the teachers are the one who impart the knowledge, wisdom, and then basic qualities, especially morals, values, everything to the future generations. Okay, and in their surveys they do good, especially to the students community. They act as mentors, they act as second parents, etc., in the life of students. So to honor this community, teachers community, Radhakrishnan, instead of celebrating his birthday, he thought that it would be his privilege that if his birthday, that is on 5th September, okay, it is observed as Teachers' Day. He want to honor the community, teaching community, by celebrating his birthday as Teachers' Day, and that is the reason why we celebrate September 5 as Teachers' Day. Okay, and the reason, one of the reason is that basically, fundamentally, this man, that is Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, who was the president, vice president, and in various ranks he has served in academics. Okay, we so yeah, fundamentally he is a teacher. Okay, so his birthday is celebrated as Teachers' Day as per his request by the government of India. Okay, now we will see what are his philosophy. He stated that Western philosophers were influenced by theological influences of their own culture. Yeah, for the previous sessions we were seeing about the philosophy. If you have listened carefully, you can have an idea that they all had their philosophies which were influenced based on their own culture. Okay, either they are Greek or Rome or whatever the philosophers they belong to, as well as Indian philosophers also. Okay, he wrote books on Indian philosophy according to Western academic standards. Yeah, you can see that Indian philosophy is presented on the basis of the standard of Western philosophy. Okay, and this is done by our great laudable Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. In his book, Idealist View of Life, he made a powerful case for the importance of intuitive thinking as opposed to purely intellectual forms of thought. He is well known for his commentaries on the Prasatana Trayai, namely the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and the Brahma Sutra. Okay, so this is what his philosophy is based on. So already it is mentioned that the philosophers were influenced basically on the theologies of their own culture. Okay, and yes, Alhamdulillah, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan also, he was influenced by the theology or the philosophy based of his culture, based on Gita, Upanishads, and the Brahma Sutras. And the thing that to be highlighted is that Indian philosophy was presented to the Westerners on the base of their standards. Okay, hope you may have got. If not, please raise your questions. Inshallah, I will brief it out to you guys. Okay, and what are the works by Radhakrishnan means? If you see, it is in chronological order. I will give it to you guys. The first, the Hindu view of life, in the year 1926. Then the next, an idealist view of life, in the year 1929, and that is what we saw, in which he tries to give the Indian philosophy according to the standard of Westerners philosophy or education presentation. Okay, the next one is Eastern religions and Western thought. Eastern religion, Western thought, in the year 1939. Next is religion and society, in the year 1947. Next, the Dhammapada, in the year 1950. Then comes the principal Upanishads, in the year 1953. After that, recovery of faith, in the year 1956. And finally, a source book in Indian philosophy, 1957. So these are the titles, these are the works of Dr. Radhakrishnan. And we will see now what are the awards that he has received. Okay, he was elected fellow of the British Academy in the year 1938. He was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1954 and the Order of Merit in 1963. So these are the awards, gentlemen. And also he received the Peace Prize of the German Book Trade in 1961 and the Templation Prize in 1975, a few months before his death. He donated the entire amount of the Templation Prize of Oxford University, and in 1989, the Oxford University instituted Dr. Radhakrishnan scholarship in his memory. Just imagine what sort of person he is. Okay. If we see means he was an idealist thinker. Yeah. He resolved to explore his own tradition in fuller detail and wrote his master thesis, The Ethics of Vedanta. The name is, that is, the master thesis that he wrote. Its title is The Ethics of Vedanta in the year 1908. At the same time, he found that he could not ignore the paralyzing superstitions which dominated Hindu social institutions and the life of the masses as integral features of their deepest religious commitments. Even though it is rich with philosophy and doctrines, superstitions were also present. Okay. Okay. To him, philosophy was a way of understanding life, and his study of Indian philosophy served as a cultural therapy. Yeah. So it is the philosophy, it is considered as a cultural therapy. Okay. Maybe that is the reason why I think so. This is my own perception that many Western peoples come to India in search of soul or pious or inner peace, okay, etc. By interpreting Indian thought in Western terms and showing that it was imbued with reason and logic, he was able to give Indians a new sense of esteem who were overcome by inferiority complex by imperial forces. Okay, uh, his contribution helped to overcome, okay, the inferiority complex or whatever that the people were affected. And he doesn't just stays with being just a teacher or idealist thinker or whatever it is. He also had social commitment. If we see means he believed that this is his social commitment. He believed that in India the philosopher's duty was to keep in touch with the past while stretching out to the future. So as a philosopher, he has to play the role of bridge between past and future. Okay, and this is what his social commitment theory or his thought is. He was a coin minted differently from the usual run of politicians and academicians. If you see means he was a coin, okay, between the usual politicians and accommodations. He is totally somewhat different, okay, and that could be because of his social commitment, that he wants to act as a bridge between the past and the future. And also he is evocative teacher, exceedingly popular among his students right from his early days as a professor at Presidency College, Madras. He was an evocative teacher right from his career. He was very much popular among his students. His mastery on his subject and his clarity of thought and expression made him even more popular was his warm-heartedness and his ability to draw out people. Yeah, warm-heartedness, that is what is very much in need. Okay, and international acclaim, leading the nation. These are the various categories in which he had served the nation. He served the people, especially the students. While it comes nation, he had great faith in Indian democracy. Yeah, we know that India is one of the biggest democracy in the world. The countries which have the democracy, among them India is one. In his farewell broadcast to the nation on May 12, 1967, he said that despite occasional forebodings to the contrary, the Indian constitution had worked successfully so far. But democracy was more than a system of the government. Okay. So these were the words of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan during his last tenure to the nation. And as a great teacher, we will see what Dr. Sarvapillai Radhakrishnan has contributed. Okay. Whatever position he held, whether as president or vice president or as ambassador, essentially he remained a teacher all his life. So once a teacher, always a teacher. He proves it. So whatever the positions he held, he used to be a teacher all his life. The teaching profession was his first love, and those who studied under him still remember with gratitude his great qualities as a teacher. And he passed away on April 17, 1975. Even though he served many positions to nation, to people, nation's people, okay, or when he represented the India in different diaspora, he remained a teacher. Basically, he remained as a teacher, okay, and he passed away on April 17, 1975. So this is what, gentlemen, about Radhakrishnan, just I have given you some main points regarding to this great personality, okay, or else in a nutshell form I have given his biography, short biography, okay. Very well, you have to keep in mind that the unit 2 is short biography, it is not a complete biography. Hope you have understood and enjoyed. Thanks for your time. Hope to meet you in next session. Bye.